How's it going? Necrotic Nick here with Thralls of Metal, and I'm here to do another collection update. I've actually included the music I got in the Metalhead box for the first time ever because I've been overlooking that for a while. So I figured it was time to actually review some of that stuff because it's been pretty good so far. So let's start it off with one of those releases. Necrosphere, Blasphemous Dominions. Pretty solid EP. These guys are from Quebec, I believe, and they kind of have an old school death metal sound. Not too dissimilar from early Gore Guts, which would be fitting. Also has kind of the Florida sound to it, kind of thrashy death metal. Pretty solid song work. Now, the only song I didn't care for was the last one, Kingdom of Mais. I thought it was just didn't match up to the intensity of the other songs. Production's kind of what you expect from a self-release demo. It's a little rough around the edges. The guitars are a little gainy in spots, and the snare drum has kind of a plunky sound to it, which I'm kind of a stickler for. But all in all, I think the music's really good, and I'd like to hear more from these guys. It's pretty solid. Thank you, Metalhead Box. Acoite, I think that's how you pronounce it. This band's from Sao Paulo, Brazil, so I think this is definitely in Portuguese. Hopefully I'm close on that one. It's a pretty solid blackened death metal, maybe blackened thrash, maybe death thrash. It's kind of hard to tell. It kind of bounces back and forth. Definitely reminds me of like early Sepultura or even Sarcophago. There's a lot of kind of blackened spots on here, but it's almost kind of deathy too. It's kind of all that mashed in there. Very rough sounding production on this. Like, it's very grainy. This sounds like it could have been recorded in 1987. Pretty solid as far as the music goes. I'd like to hear a little bit better production because I think sometimes the production kind of takes away from the instrumentation. Like, sometimes you really can't hear it. It kind of blurs into this blender of a mix. But all in all, in terms of straightforward heaviness, this is pretty fucking solid shit. One of the members actually even commented on our video from the Metalhead unboxing, and yeah, well, we got around to reviewing it and checking it out, and I think it's pretty fucking solid. Check it out. Torche Admission. New one from Torche out on Relapse. Pretty solid offering. I don't like it as much as the previous two, I'll be honest there. They're starting to mix in a little bit of, I guess, shoegaze and maybe even some quasi-synth sounding stuff. There's definitely like kind of an 80s vibe, especially on the title track, which I think is one of the catchiest songs on here. It almost has like kind of sludge metal, stoner metal meets The Cure. There's parts in there where that sound really works, and other parts it kind of just drones on too much, and it really just doesn't get interesting. Like, I love Harmonicraft, Meanderthal, and Restarter. I thought those were all excellent albums. This one's still good. It's just kind of missing some of the heft, and the songwriting is just a tad dull on some of these tracks, but the songs that are really good really stand out. Still a solid offering. If you're a big fan of Torche, I'd definitely check it out. It's a solid jam. Throne, Altar of the Dying. This is one of the albums I picked up when Jam and John and I went to go see Tomb Mold. These guys were the opening band. They're from Jackson, Michigan, and this is an interesting blend of stuff. There's definitely sort of a melodic death metal vibe on parts, like definitely very at the gatesy, but the drums sound very much in the realm of Dying Fetus. It's very blast beat forward. Definitely some high-speed kick drums in there, too. And it's fiercely chuggy. Like, the first thing I thought of was Dying Fetus meets, like, Incantation, but with a touch of At the Gates. So, if any of those bands are in your wheelhouse, this is definitely a band to check out. This is their first release, I believe, their first EP, and it's solid all the way through. I dig the fuck out of it. And I'd like to see these guys again. They've put on a sick show. They are tight musically. They were one of the best sounding bands at that show anyway, too. So yeah, Throne, definitely check them out. All right, we got a pair here. We have two live albums from Yob, from Roadburn. Now this one is from 2010 and features a pretty solid set. Stuff from some of their early albums as well as some of the newer ones. I think it goes up to Great Cessation, which is definitely on here. And this one, which is my personal favorite of the two here, this is The Unreal Never Lived live. The entire album, it's fucking fantastic. I said I had the pleasure of seeing these guys live not too long ago, and they absolutely blew me away. I've been a Yob fan for fucking forever. I think the Unreal Never Lived was the first album I ever bought. So finding a live set of the entire thing was fucking awesome. These are both amazing. Definitely check them out. Just go see Yob. Yob's fucking fantastic. If you love stoner metal, doom metal, or even post metal, this band is in your wheelhouse, and they are incredible. Check them out. Ruin, Human Annihilation. Found this at the used bin at one of our local record shops, and it's pretty much straightforward old school death metal with a serial killer twist. There's lots of excerpts from interviews with serial killers and mass murderers and such. Definitely kind of a horror vibe and some synthy interludes and shit coupled with those interviews. The music is just straightforward old school death metal. It's not too flashy, but it's pretty solid. I believe these guys are from California, and this is their second release, but these guys have been around for a while, I believe, and then had a long hiatus and then just recently got back to releasing albums. So this isn't a bad offering. The recording quality is a little muted and definitely extra grimy, but it kind of works in a way. Songwriting's just, I think, a little dull in spots. It doesn't have the impact of a lot of other bands, but I still think it's really well done. It has some issues. The production is a little muted and definitely kind of muddy. And the vocals kind of had an odd sound. They kind of remind me of the vocalist, or at least the first vocalist for Doth. A very strange, distorted growl. It's kind of the same on this. Musically, it's pretty solid, though. It's straight up old school death metal. It's very groovy, very chuggy. And, you know, if you like early 90s death metal, you know, especially like Autopsy, pretty close. Check them out. Paradise Lost, As I Die. This is just pretty much the single for As I Die, which was off of Shades of God. It included one B-side track, which was Rape of Virtue. Pretty solid, straightforward death doom. You know, pretty much Paradise Lost's wheelhouse. And a cover, Death Walks Behind You, which I forget the band they're covering on there. It's kind of a more obscure one, so not like a giant popular band. And then a version of Eternal live. It's a pretty solid little EP. It's just a quick jam. I pretty much got it just because I wanted to hear the B-sides and have a live track. You know, I already own most of Paradise Lost discography, but I saw this one in the used bin for a cheap price, and I was like, fuck it, let's get it. But yeah, check it out. Paradise Lost fucking rules. Really don't think I need to talk much about them. Yeah, check them out. Possessed, Beyond the Gates, and The Eyes of Horror. That's why I picked this one up. I already have a reissue of this that I think was done on Relativity or Revelation Records, something like that, back in 1999. This is a recent one put out by Century Media, and it's the first time they've included the Eyes of Horror EP on a CD, I believe. I haven't been able to find that on a CD anywhere. But yeah, pretty solid remaster. I mean, the production on this one was a little iffy. It didn't quite have the same punch as Seven Churches, but still awesome. I really fucking dig it. I was glad that I was able to get it just because the Eyes of Horror EP, which sounds really good on here, and those songs are absolutely kick-ass. Really don't think I need to talk much about Possessed either. Possessed is pretty fucking well known. You know, arguably one of the early bands for death metal, straight out of the Bay Area. A lot of good shit, but yeah, awesome to find this reissue. I believe it's an import, so be on the lookout for those. I think there's probably one for Seven Churches as well, which I might have to look into because it'd be nice to find out like a better remaster of that too. Check it out. And then finally we have two more releases from Haunt. This is the reissue of Mosaic Vision, and this is a reissue of Luminous Eyes. Both of them out on Shadow Kingdom Records. Haunt is pretty much a throwback heavy metal band, very much in the vein of stuff like Angel Witch and Judas Priest, Iron Maiden. Really good stuff. I really liked both of these. Sometimes the vocals are a little too cheesy for me, but musically these guys have incredible guitar chops. The songs are catchy, they're memorable, really cool dueling guitar harmonies and leads. There's just a lot of fun stuff in this music. These guys are solid songwriters, straight up throwback metal. It's an awesome kind of wave of trad metal we're kind of going through in metal right now, and these guys are definitely one of the bands at the forefront of it. Definitely check them both out. I especially recommend Luminous Eyes. I really like the songs on here. Super catchy, and I think the singer actually sounded a lot better on this one than this one. But either or, check them out. Haunt's a pretty solid band. Alright, that does it for another collection update. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, sub. We do stuff like this all the time. Catch you guys later.